How could you possibly hit somebody and not call for help?
Right now at 6, another deadly hit-and-run crash in the metro.
I was noticing cars going down the left, the middle, and the right lane over where the body was.
It's become a disturbing trend. We look into the numbers and what police say is behind the increase.
Prescription drug costs are taking a toll on Coloradans.
I end up paying, $250 for a 1-month supply.
Our state, though, is close to relieving some of that burden.
We hope to bring substantial savings, mostly on chronic drugs to treat chronic conditions.
Plus, Coloradans are being promised a big return on their investment, only to be ghosted once it's time to cash out.
They'll see a document saying that they're making some money, let's do some more, making some money, let's do some more.
Good evening and thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Hit and run crashes in the metro are occurring more frequently.
And our analysis of deadly hit and run crashes shows at least 7 incidents in Denver and Aurora alone since July 23rd. Some of them so egregious, victims were hit by several different cars.
Denver 7's Patrick Perez live at Colfax on I-25 in Denver, where there was a fatal hit and run just last night.
And Patrick, you spoke to a man who tried to call police for help.
I did, Ann, and that man and his girlfriend watched as person after person drove over and around that woman's body right off of West Colfax Avenue, all while waiting for 911 on the phone. Another deadly hit and run in the Denver metro, this latest one happening Wednesday night.
And then when we passed, it was pretty clearly a person who was on the road and wasn't moving.
Jeffrey Cook and his girlfriend were driving eastbound on West Colfax Avenue just before Empower Field when they saw a body in the middle lane of this busy road.
So called 911 and then got a recorded message saying that every dispatcher was busy and to please stay on hold for the next available dispatcher.
It was hard, Jeffrey says, to see drivers keep going over and around the person while waiting on hold with 911.
You dial 911 and you expect somebody to answer the phone, and when you think somebody's life is on the line, time is of the essence.
Medics eventually arrived at the scene. Police say the driver who hit the pedestrian never stopped.
So the one thing that we really never talk about is, these victims' families. They don't have closure now.
Kurt Barnes with Denver Police says these hit-and-run crashes are a concern for the department because of both the criminal and moral aspect of them.
There's even a possibility that you might not be at fault. You might be the one who, was the innocent driver. You hit somebody, and all of a sudden now you took off, and you're elevating that to a felony range.
So far this year, DPD says there have been at least 14 deadly hit-and-runs, but it's unclear how many of those involved pedestrians. One of those was husband and father of 2, Steve Perkins, who was hit and killed while riding his bike on 13th and Syracuse. In Aurora, there have been at least 2 this year, including Jason Lyman, who was killed while walking his dogs.
I think a lot of it is just fear. I just hit somebody. I don't know what to do. Really take a second, reflect on it. Is it really worth it leaving?
As we've seen lately, drivers are unfortunately finding it is worth it and forcing others like Jeffrey to carry the burden.
How could you possibly hit somebody and not call for help? I don't think most people are like that, but unfortunately the person who hit this person was.
And for this most recent hit and run, police want you to be on the lookout for a silver SUV or a coupe with damage to the front side. If you have any information that can help investigators, you are urged to call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. And
yeah, that is tragic. Patrick, thank you. And ever since the start of the pandemic, Denver's 911 dispatch center has faced a shortage of workers. And this really is a Front Range issue. Our partners at the Denver Post collected data on job vacancies at dispatch centers across the metro. This was for 2021, and vacancies range between 15 and 42%.
A police standoff is underway right now in Aurora, happening at a home near 19th and Akron. This is near the Central Park neighborhood. Police say they're trying to get in contact with a 38-year-old man wanted on 2 warrants, including escaping the Department of Corrections. Residents have been told now for 4 hours to stay inside. Well, classes begin Monday at CU Boulder amid heightened tensions. CU police are searching for the man they say sexually assaulted a female student in her dorm last night. It happened at Williams Village North. Police say a man knocked on the student's door, then grabbed her by the neck and assaulted her. And students we spoke to today are understandably shaken.
I probably won't leave my roommate anymore. We'll go to do things together, and if we come back, we lock the door, not letting each other out alone at night.
It's just really upsetting. I want to feel safe here. I really love the campus here, and I love Boulder, and I would never want to leave.
And we have a description of the suspect right now on the denverchannel.com. And police recommend that students remain cautious opening doors and then verbally confirm someone's identity before letting them in.
Kevin Bui, who is one of 3 people arrested in connection to a deadly fire in Green Valley Ranch, pleaded not guilty today in court. He faces 60 different charges, including 5 counts of first-degree murder. And those charges are in connection to a house fire in 2020. 5 members of the Dio family were killed, including a 2-year-old and an infant. The family was from Senegal. Bui's trial is scheduled to start in December.
Well, Colorado's taken another step in its effort to start importing prescription medications from Canada. Today, the state announced partnerships with 3 companies to set up an importation system. Denver 7's Megan Lopez explains how soon these cheaper meds could come to our state.
It's an effort that started here 3 years ago when state legislators passed a law giving Colorado the right to explore the idea of importing high-cost medications from Canada. Since then, a lot of work has been happening behind the scenes to set that system up. The goal is simple.
We hope to bring substantial savings, mostly on chronic drugs to treat chronic conditions.
Because the medications sold in Canada are the same ones sold here, but at a fraction of the price.
We have seen in our initial analyses that consumers, employers, businesses could save an average of about 60% on imported drugs.
The idea has faced a lot of pushback from the pharmaceutical industry, saying it's not safe. Still, the state has trudged forward.
I think we should all expect, if we're going to disrupt the status quo, that there are those organizations that don't want us to do that.
Then Thursday, Colorado announced 3 new partnerships, one with a wholesaler to buy the medications, one with a pharmaceutical group to import and distribute them, and one with Rocky Mountain Poison and Drug Safety to handle safety aspects of those medications.
We're really excited to move forward. And I think for us, it's all about creating this new marketplace.
There's still a lot of steps before these medications hit pharmacy shelves, like getting the federal government to approve of Colorado's plan. But they're hoping to start importing cheaper medications by late next year.
I was born with a genetic disease. I didn't get diagnosed until I was about 25.
For patients like Rachel Wall, this program couldn't come soon enough. She needs 4 medications monthly.
I end up paying, $250 for a 1-month supply. It is a significant amount, and it plays into, a lot of decisions, including, what job you have or not and how many hours you work.
So she's done what a lot of others had to do to cut costs, like pharmacy shop or spread out her doses. For her, this program means
obviously better quality of life with being able to take my medications consistently as prescribed.
But first, there's still a lot of details to work through. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And Canadian officials have previously blocked the distribution of certain medications outside that country. It happened last time in 2020 after then President Trump announced a similar plan. Now, Canada's health minister at the time said it was to avoid a shortage in that country.
The State Department of Health has launched a new monkeypox data dashboard on its website, and this dashboard shares demographical information about patients who have tested positive. As of this morning, there are 168 confirmed cases in our state, and state health officials say they saw a consistent increase of cases in the month of July.
Well, Colorado's receiving $51 million in federal funding to support low and zero emission transit across the state. Summit County is going to get $34.8 million of that to help launch a 100% zero emissions bus fleet. Now, this funding is specifically reserved for our more rural areas of Colorado.
Cryptocurrency tends to create a lot of buzz for people, and that buzz has reached its way to scammers as well. Last December, we told you about a Denver man who lost out on $1.6 million in a crypto scam. Well, tonight, local police departments say they've seen an increase in these scams. And Denver 7's Amy Wattis is joining us live in studio now. Amy, you spoke to a man who's now out $750,000.
And I sure did. Now, Lakewood police say in the last month they've had a couple people fall victim to the pig butcher scam, which is why they put out an alert on their Facebook page to let people know the scam is very real, not just in our state, but also across the country, and to be on high alert. The spokesperson with Lakewood Police says victims typically meet the perpetrator on LinkedIn or dating sites like Tinder. He says the term pig butcher comes from the act of a farmer fattening up a pig before slaughtering it, essentially fattening up their victim through sweet-talking them, gaining trust, and then coming to them with an investment offer involving cryptocurrency they can't refuse. This process can take months. People across the country reached out to Denver 7 after seeing our reporting on the scam over the past few months, including one man from Cleveland, Ohio, who lost $750,000 after meeting who he thought was a woman on Tinder. He asked to remain anonymous.
We talked for a good month or two before she even brought up cryptocurrency. After that, after gaining my trust, she started talking about crypto, and she didn't ask me to send her money, but she told me about this site to sign up for, and that's what gave me the confidence, is that I was doing everything. I was setting up the accounts, I was doing the transfers, and I was doing the withdrawal, so I felt like I was in full control.
Now, he says he did 2 or 3 withdrawals without a problem, but when he attempted another withdrawal, he couldn't. Sharing with us this message with the scammer asking him to pay a $204,000 deposit so he could actually access his money. So the question tonight, what can you do to keep this from happening to you? We'll have more on that coming up tonight on Denver 7 News at 8 on Local 3. In the studio, Amy Wattis, Denver 7.
Colorado dry and mild this evening with a few storms popping up for tomorrow. I'll show you when you can expect some rain in your neighborhood coming up in your full forecast.
Getting outside's a treat in Colorado, but not everyone can enjoy it equally.
I was just really frustrated as a parent with a child with disabilities and trying to research the details that families like mine need.
So this Colorado mom created a resource to help other families in the same boat.
Plus, a beloved member of the Avs Stanley Cup winning team is moving on.